Hello, and welcome to my session here um, about my Lego robot. So there was over 1,100 people registered. Where are you guys? I hope you can hear what I'm saying. My voice is a little rusty, speak too much. But my name is Jakob Gottlieb Svendsen. I come from Denmark. So that's why I bring Lego, because it's from Denmark. I work in a company called CT Global as a principal consultant and head of development or development lead, whatever you want to call it. Today I'm going to show you a little tricks with my robot here. I've actually been using this robot since 2012. The same robot. It's been to 50 conferences or something like that. But what I want to show is self-service, how you can make easy self-service. And instead of showing something boring like a new employee or whatever, I'll just make the robot go a little and try to pick that up. I was promised a table, but there didn't come a table, so I took some of the priority seating here and then made a makeshift table, which I hope these are not going to break everything, but we'll see. So this is the Lego Mindstorm starter kit, starter set. Only thing I've added is actually this little Wi-Fi dongle here to actually make it communicate Wi-Fi, of course. Oh, sorry. Go back here. And what I've done is to develop a PowerShell module, which you can get from GitHub, to control the robot. I did that a couple of years ago, and the thing would look like this. We have the robot on premises. It's not in the cloud yet. And we have a user. And user goes to SharePoint and orders the robot to go somewhere. It triggers Azure Automation, which then triggers on a hybrid worker, which is a computer on premises. Then the robot goes somewhere. I had this little computer with me to many places, like a small portable computer. But I mean, this is not what we want, right? We want cloud native stuff. So instead, we don't want this old, computers on premises, no VMs. So, for example, this guy goes like, hey, how can I fax my order, That's how old on-premises computers are. Sorry. So I made a new version, cloud-native version. We are still using SharePoint, Azure Automation. It could be Azure Functions if you want, but then IoT Hub. So the robot here is actually connected to IoT Hub. And now the robot goes, you see, I should work in marketing, It goes like this. So now this is actually connecting directly. But my old setup would actually use nothing else but the Wi-Fi connector. But this new setup actually needs a little bit more. It needs an SD card, which I've plugged in here. And then we can download something called the EV3, the Lego EV3, that's this one, dev, which is actually a Debian distribution, a new OS for the Lego robot. So when I put that on the Lego robot, I can now make scripts in Python. I tried to make .NET work on there, but the CPU is 16-bit, and it's 300 megahertz, so it doesn't really work. So, but what we can do is, with the EV dev, we can make a PowerShell script. I can make a PowerShell script. You can get it from my GitHub. And we can connect it to Azure IoT Hub. So that's great. And I've been using this for ages, right? Just about 3 months, So I have one question for you. How many cloud years is that? Has anybody heard of cloud years? No? Because I made it up? Good. So 3 months is about 1 dog year, right? That is actually about 10 cloud years. So in 3 months, it's been a while, 10 cloud years. You can just have a little sip of it while you think about it. So let's see how it works, how it hopefully works, and how it hopefully doesn't break. I mean, the bricks doesn't break because they are made of Lego, and there's nothing more robust than Lego. But the robot has broken in many pieces. You can even look it up on Twitter. There was a live feed from Jeffrey Snower with this robot going over a table and smashing all over the floor. So many fun things happens. in this. But before I actually do the demo, I think we should look at that we could actually add something to this flow. Well, when I said SharePoint triggers Azure Automation, what really happens is a Microsoft flow. Oh, sorry, it's called Power Automate from today, which you probably heard in the keynote. It triggers on an update on SharePoint, triggers the Azure Automation, runs the robot. We can make it a little bit more pretty by adding a Power App. And it's actually a single click on SharePoint, makes the Power App, and it works. Usually I would make all this in live, but I don't have that time here. It takes around 30 minutes for me to do a demo where I have nothing till I have a running robot. But I can't do that here in 20 minutes. But what I have done is I've made a YouTube video. First of all, I thought I could just link to a recording from some of the earlier ones, but the only ones that were online was all the ones that everything goes wrong. So I didn't have a good one. So I made a new one which you can go and look at. It's going to be a link later for that. So in here, as I said, first thing is when I run this EV3 dev thing on the Lego robot, I can connect to it as any other Linux distribution using SSH. And I can start my little script that then connects to, IoT Hub. Next up, I have the other parts here where we have our little SharePoint site and where I can input my robot name, because IoT Hub works in a way where you give a device a name. You can then send a message to that device, or you can put a message in a queue for that device, and the device picks up the message and executes. So I have to put in Mr. Robot as the name. You can't see anything here, sorry. This is better, right? But to make it a little more pretty, I could simply use my phone here to run my Power App, which is right here. And hopefully my mom doesn't call this time. That actually did happen in one of these demos. Which was, I can't, I rejected it and she called again and was angry afterwards. Why didn't you pick up the phone? Mama was in a conference, 200 people watching. But in here, when you make a Power App from this SharePoint site, you can simply go and open that on your phone or on a web. And then we can have the same fields as before. I can order that. So maybe I should just simply order something. We could actually also do it from here. Whoa, I can't stand anywhere. What I can send to it is the name, is the robot. Action is grab or release. And I want to grab that thing there. And then the length in centimeters or inches. But I don't know how long that is. Let me cut about, 20 or 25. Let's just do 30. No, 25. When I send this in, what's going to trigger is the Power Automate flow. The Power Automate flow is built on a standard template. You can see that in the guide on GitHub. And it's going to actually send an approval to myself. And I have to approve that it actually goes somewhere, and then I can actually execute the job, which sends a message to IoT Hub, which then makes the robot go. Okay, so let's go back here and try and order something. On my other one here, I have the jobs. You will see it pop up here when it actually sends the message, and then the robot should hopefully go. Yes, so let's go and open the Power App and simply save this. It says reconnected. Let's see, probably the Wi-Fi is a little bad. There we go. So right after it's saved, it should have triggered this. You see it's already running the flow. It instantly executes the flow. And as I said, this is a standard template. You just select this template and it has everything except the last step that triggers the robot, which is down here. So if I look at my mail, you see I received a message to approve this robot to go somewhere, and I'll do that. Again, I haven't done anything here. This is default template. Looks pretty fine for most use cases. And we go there, we go, yeah, for example. We want the robot to go somewhere. Yeah, please, something. We submit it, go back to this and see what happens here. Right after I click, it actually triggers the Power Automate flow, which starts the runbook or job, which means over here at the automation, we will have a new job running, or queued at least. I see another one for my greenhouse, which is on Wednesday, by the way. And this one will actually start up in a few seconds. It'll send the message, as I said, to IoT Hub, and then hopefully the robot's gonna move. So let's see what the robot says here. This is the only thing that can take a little while. I mean, usually it only takes a few seconds, but when you do it on stage, it always takes longer. Or maybe the time just goes slower here on stage. Come on. The thing is, while I wait here, the thing is when you trigger something in Azure, as it says, it's queued in Azure. When you haven't executed something in like 15 minutes, they don't have an actual worker for you. So there's being built a worker for me. It takes usually 30 seconds. But if I were to trigger it in 2 minutes, it would probably go faster. But the thing is, when you do these things, something always goes wrong. So we'll see. I would be surprised if this was what would go wrong. Cute. This is probably because the other one was executing the same time. Whoop, sorry. Whoa! So the table wasn't so good, but at least it went somewhere, you know? So it picks it up magically here. But it actually worked. And if we look here, thank you. If you look here, you see that I actually simply sent some JSON for those who know what that is. And it actually just translates land into some commands that will trigger the robot to go somewhere. We can try it again. Just a little quick one here. New, we do it from SharePoint instead. Mr. Robot. Now we want to release, and we want to go 15 or 20. And we save. And as I said, it triggers instantly the flow. The flow in Power Automate. At least if it was saved correctly here. Yep. Should trigger instantly here. It does actually check every, I think it's 30 seconds. The thing is, the Power Automate, which has been renamed to, is also known as Logic Apps. So if you are working in an enterprise environment with your Lego robots, you would use Logic Apps instead. So, how many are using Lego robots in their enterprise? No. Oh, nice. What are you using it for? Lunch? No. I don't know. Here's an approval starting here. We'll approve it again. And we do it. Oh yeah, again. Stop the noise. Something. And it's approved. Job is started, as I said. There you go. And then robot should go in a sec. We can see it coming in here. Maybe we put it on the side here so we can see both. Yeah, and then it runs. Hopefully. Let's refresh here. Yeah. So you see, usually if you are doing other kinds of self-service, these seconds that happens now wouldn't be an issue at all. But here on stage, sometimes a little annoying. Oh yeah, it dropped it. Okay, so how do you do it? It's actually fairly easy. I mean, the hard part is to actually put the script on there, but it only takes a few steps. And I mean, it is actually pretty easy. I mean, usually when I, as a developer or head of development, say it's easy, people go like, "Yeah, right, you're a developer. You can do whatever." But it doesn't actually take more than 20 minutes to do it using the GUI. And you can see the YouTube movie here. But as I said, you should not try to challenge the demo god. So there's also another video that I want you to take picture of, because this is from a PowerShell conference last year, where everything went wrong. So it was a good show, but not so good for demoing the Lego robot. So, but as I said, you go to my GitHub here, and again, you can download the slides afterwards. Let me just zoom in a bit here. And I have two versions of the module, one for Windows PowerShell and one for PowerShell. And if you go to examples, IoT demo, you'll actually have the complete guide of how to set this up on the actual robot. And you'll have descriptions of how to set it up in Azure, transfer files, connect. And you have the video down here too. So you have everything there to get started. All you need to do is to buy the Lego starter set and also the Wi-Fi adapter. And if it's a pretty old adapter, but you can get that adapter on eBay at $5. So it's fairly cheap. But I think first, is there any questions? No questions? You can follow me here on Jakob G. Svendsen and my company at Team CT Global. I'll be back here on Wednesday talking about my Azure Connected Greenhouse. Well, it's not this stage, but somewhere else. You can look me up in the schedule. And on Thursday, I'm going to repeat this, hopefully with a table that time, so it runs a little better. But yeah, thank you for coming. And you're welcome to come here and check it out if you want to.